Hello everyone and welcome back to another Trenton World 3 video. We're doing some 150 mph goodness. We're on the New York Trenton route and here's our train coming in now. I thought we'd start Newark Penn as we don't get the really slow bit out of New York Penn. Well, not really slow bit, but the less exciting bit. So let's head over to the front. Am I crouched? No, there we go. Head over, it's just up here, and we'll get in and take it down to Trenton. It's non-stop as well, so 47 miles of non-stop, near enough over 100 miles an hour most of the way. So it's good fun. Let's get in. Yeah, we've all seen the New York Penn to New York Penn section hundreds of times. So we'll start at Newark Penn. Then we sort of get the new bit. Let's do that. Do that and do that. There we go. Get back in. Sit in the seat. Yeah, my train now. Actually, there was no driver, was there? Weird. That's a forward. That's going to be 35 on there. It's saying 35. We've got about a minute or so, and then we'll then be off. Cool. I love the way these even have the Metro North signalling sort of system as well. Which I think they use on the New York New Haven, don't they? Or just sometimes do they? No, they wouldn't get. I was about to say maybe sometimes they get diverted into Grand Central, and I was like, no, because that's third rail. So yeah, I suppose they use this. What would it be? North of New Rochelle, where Metro North joins up. Very easy system to understand, the Metro North signalling. S is stop. R is 15. M's 30. And L is limited, which means 45, and you've got 60, 80, and I suppose normal. So it's very easy to understand. Let's get the door shut. And yeah, it's 14:43 we're due down there. So let's get going. Get that off. Right. Let's go. I always live a little bit early. Only 20 seconds. Hear that coming alive? There you go. It's always exciting coming in the Acela. It's the best, one of the best US trains in the game now. It's great that it's finally in the game. I suppose in a way we've been waiting. Wow. Maybe I was about to say we've sort of been waiting since NEC in New York, but then the Acela just wouldn't have really made sense on there. As you only be able to run it for one stop. So yeah, it's great. It's great to finally have it in the game and to finally actually get some high-speed US action. As when Boston Providence first released, it was still quick, 125 miles an hour, but it didn't, fully make use of the 150 miles an hour on there. It was quite tedious. You'd sort of see 150 on the thing, but it was like 125 only for the Northeast Regional. So it's great to actually finally have it in the game and we can get up to a fair amount of speed. Well, they're saying that we can't go 150 until south of, I think it's south of Jersey Avenue. That's where it goes up to 150. So still probably about 25 miles away until we can get up to 150. But that will absolutely zoom by. And 47 miles in about half an hour is just fantastic. So it's not too fast out of here. Once we get past Newark Liberty International Airport, that's when it starts to get a bit faster. Although saying that, then we get to Elizabeth and then it comes down to 45. So there's parts of this route that gets quite sort of wiggly. But then once you get south of sort of Edison, that's where it's slightly more just psh. But hopefully we see more sections of the Northeast Corridor, because this has just been absolutely fan. I think it's been a really good success, this route. Same as with Boston Providence. I think that did really well as well. So I really do hope we do see some more sections of it, as it probably is sort of the most exciting US route you can get. High speed, electric, and diesel. Some sections do have diesel trains. So it's definitely sort of the most exciting sort of routes you can have in the US. And we've now got two sections in a way, a tiny bit New York to New Rochelle on Train Sim World 2020. And I think across Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World, I think the only bits we're missing are Baltimore to Philadelphia and New Haven to Providence. So hopefully we maybe see one of those sections, because I think the next route due for Train Sim Classic should be an American route. So hopefully maybe we see another section of the Northeast Corridor. Imagine that, a full Northeast Corridor. That'd be awesome. The only bit I don't have is New York to Philadelphia on Train Sim Classic, which I'm sort of tempted to pick up. But it would really, I suppose, only be for Trenton to Philadelphia, which is, I think, 30 miles. I suppose maybe at some point. Then we can try and sort of do a linked run. Right, let's start coming down. That's going to come down to 45 any second now. Or at least it's going to start telling us to come down to 45. There it is. As long as we're down, I suppose, before the curve, we're alright. It's only the signal speed, it's not actually the track speed, I don't think. I think the track speed is like 60 or 85. But that's coming down anyway, so that's fine. I don't know if realistically you'd have to be down at 45 as soon as it begins. I suppose probably not, as it gives you all this time to pop it down. But I suppose as long as you're at 45 before the curve, should be alright. There you go. Goes back up to 100 pretty much straight away. I suppose it simply just is to slow you down. Yeah, it's just, it's a it's, I don't know, it's just a fantastic train. Every time I drive this train, it's a big smile on my face. It's like, yeah, be a seller. Mate, it can't get better than this, really. It can't. I suppose Brightline would be cool to see. A diesel, high-speed-ish train. That would be very cool to see, actually, Brightline. Hopefully we do see it at some point. There we go. I suppose even if you're not really into American routes, the Northeast Corridor, how can you not like the Northeast Corridor? Especially, you know, the bits we've got in the game. Boston Providence, which is like 125, 150 miles an hour. And now this section, which is about the same. Even if you're not really into US stuff, do give one of them a go. I suppose ideally give this bit a go. So I'll say this is probably the more exciting part of the Northeast Corridor. Especially if you don't really like US stuff. Which I do like US stuff, but if you're not really a big fan of US stuff, this bit's probably the better one to give a shot. Let's go up to 125. There you go. And it does come down. So it's going to be Linden next. Linden, Railway, Metro Park. And yeah, just before Metro Park, I think it comes down to about 95 or so. Which still is, I suppose, quite quick in the grand scheme of things. So we'll get that up. Yes, buzz. There we go, we get that up. Up to 125. Good stuff. So we should have Railway coming up as well soon. This is Linden Station, which we're passing through. It should, I think, come down soonish. So I'm just gonna pop that down. Yeah, Metro Park, you've got a bit of a sort of twisty section. So, and ideally we should be at Trenton in around 15-20 minutes time. Doesn't take too long. But yeah, I thought we'd start Newark Pen, just because otherwise you get the really sort of depressing, quite a slow section out of New York Pen. Whereas if you start Newark Pen, it's fast pretty much the whole way. And we've seen that section many times before anyway. Is this railway? Yes, it's coming down now. Yeah, bugger off, penalty application. It's all fine. Doesn't actually do it. There we go. 110, there we go. So that was railway, and then you think you've got the North Jersey coastline that goes off here, which you can see going off down there to the left, which then takes you to, I don't know where it takes you actually. Is it South Amboy? Yeah, I think it's South Amboy down there. I actually have got that route on Train Sim Classic, so quite tempted to go on it and give it a go. Now this is out. So let's even do some sort of joint journey. That would be fun. That would actually be quite fun to do a joint journey across the two routes. Lovely. So Metro Park isn't too far up. And then once you sort of get past there, it's fairly, I suppose, straightforward. And quite quick as well. More quicker than this bit. So that should be approaching shortly. And I think the speed might come down a bit more as well. I've got a feeling it comes down to 95. And 95 rings a bell. And you should also see the train tilting as well. Well, it's the coaches tilting. Just about see it. There, that's a bit better. See them tilting? There you go, and again, a little bit more. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you get a bit of tilting action on here, which is fun. This is Metro Park. Obviously, huge thanks again to Dovetail Games for giving us a key to show this off. Lovely. Yeah, I am really enjoying this route. And I know some people might be like, oh, that's because you're an ambassador, you got it for free, that's why you're going to say it's good. But no, honestly, I'm really enjoying this route. It is probably one of the best passenger routes we've got for the US stuff. So most of the New York ones are quite good. Harlem Line, Long Island, this one, they're all really good. Although there are a few issues with this route, which we will highlight. That is, there's not every timetabled service. I don't know why, but there's quite a chunk of services missing, which maybe they'll add in the future. I don't know. So that's sort of one of the issues people have been having, which I don't really know this realistically, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But it would be quite nice if it was a bit busier. So that's one of the things which people have pointed out. There's a sort of big chunk of services missing. And the other thing, well, really, it's really just that. I was going to say it's the pantograph, but I mean that will be sorted anyway, so I don't need to worry about that. So yeah, that's really about it, I suppose. What I've heard, yeah, it's just there's services missing. Oh, this looks nice. Hopefully, it doesn't go foggy. It seems most times I play this route, it goes foggy, which could be an issue. I mean, it probably isn't an issue. Yeah, it goes foggy, then all of a sudden just disappears the fog and it's clear again, which is weird. That was Metuchen Station? Metuchen? I think it's Metuchen. Speed's coming down. Yes, it's fine, train. Alright, popping it down. Yeah, 95. That's fine. As we come up towards Edison Station, that's not too far along. I suppose this would be the Metuchen curves. Back up to 110 already. go. So you've got a bit of a windy... Well, I suppose, yeah, Elizabeth and Metuchen, you've got windy sections of the route. But apart from that, it's fairly straight. Well, there's still 110 miles an hour. Whereas on the new Northeast Corridor New York route, going up towards New Rochelle, you sort of had similar curves to that, and it would be like 60. Not as fun. And that should hopefully go up fairly soon. There you go, 125. Let's get that right up. There you go, 125. This is Edison Station. There's not actually any stations we go through, or we go through the platform. I think in the Acela, the only station, if you're doing a fast service, you actually pass through is probably Secaucus Junction. That's probably, yeah, I think that's the only one you actually go through. Because the stations, well, the platforms, for the most part, are only on track 1 and 4. You don't get really any island platforms or anything apart from Secaucus Junction. Whereas I suppose on Boston Providence, you're passing through tons of stations, you know, right next to it. It's quite scary, actually. Especially at Mansfield, where you're passing the station at 150 miles an hour. And it's quite a slim, well, not slimish platform, and you've got AI like right near the edge, or NPCs right near the edge of the platform. It's like 150 miles an hour coming through. Seems a little bit more dangerous. Now it's New Brunswick next, which is, as I say every time, probably one of my favourite stations out of the lot. Just for sort of this flyover, you sort of go over the river, and then you go through the station, then fly over sort of the whole of the town. It's awesome. Quick, go ahead. We're not really going much faster than the train. Now you've got Jersey Avenue Station, but look at this sort of flying over the town. I know it's on that little corner as well, so it makes it even better. Although a great place to watch trains go by if you just want to sit and watch stuff flying through is Princeton Junction, as the Acela's pass there at 150 miles an hour, so quite quick. And we've got Jersey Avenue Station coming up on the right. Well, that's a place where you can stay on the service pretty much all day, going backwards and forth, as it terminates there. Some of the NJT services, just in there. So yeah, a good one if you want to sort of sit on the same train most of the day, going backwards and forth. Up to 145. There we go. That was already coming down. What's that all about? Yeah, already coming down. Cheeky. Even more as well. Oh no, 130. Okay, probably because of this corner here. Wasn't really much point of it going up then, was there? And also it's slightly harder to when you're going at this speed, but there are mileposts which you can find at the edge of the line every mile. Probably much harder to spot at this speed. But if you're doing it hardless and you're slightly unsure, you know, how far away you are from certain stations, I think Princeton Junction is at milepost 47, so I suppose probably start slowing down around milepost 45, 46. And Trenton is at milepost 57, I think, or just after milepost 57. So yeah, do keep an eye out if you are doing it hardless, you're slightly unsure where the station is, just keep an eye out for the mileposts. But yeah, a couple of good pointers there for sort of stations which are a bit harder to know where they are. So yeah, Princeton Junction, there's one there, 36 I think that one was. Princeton Junction's at 47 and Trenton's just after 58. Oh no, 57 I think. Although for Trenton it just brings you down the speed anyway. Oh, we're not actually getting any power at the moment, it's mean. Let's speed that up. Got a bit slow, there we go. American train in the game. It's gotta be. It's gotta be one of the best ones in the game. I mean, what else in the US compares to something like the Acela? Nothing really, apart from Brightline, but that's a diesel. Sort of high-speed-ish service. I mean, you've got the Aurelia Liberty, but not that. So next station along is Princeton Junction. So it's quite a big gap between stations along here. Well, if we look out for a milepost again, there's only small things, they're quite hard to spot. If you look carefully, you'll be able to see them. Oh, hello. Ooh. It says penalty application, but it won't actually do it. There you go. That's fine. So 1:30, 1:30 for this corner. Well, we're down in time, so that's the main thing. So 1:30 at milepost 37 or so. They'll go probably straight back up after this, won't it? There's a milepost there. So that's milepost 40. So it should be about 7 miles to Princeton Junction. Now we've got about 18 miles left to, 17 miles left to Trenton. But yeah, this speed is not a lot. That's hardly anything at this speed. We'll be there probably in about 5 minutes. Well, actually no, not 5 minutes, 10 minutes probably. Soon enough. And that sweet 150 should start soon as well. There we go, 150. So that's probably at milepost 41. Which I suppose is measured from New York Penn. Got a Northeast Regional. Give him a little toot. Love the running sounds of the AM fleet. Love it. Before you know it, there's another milepost coming up. There's one just there, I think. 41, I think that was. Probably even could have been 42. It's raining. It's raining. Whoa, okay, wow, that's the first time. I mean, that was actually a fairly decent change in the dynamic weather, because it got cloudy quite slowly-ish. Whereas most of the times it literally just gets cloudy almost instantly and then rains instantly when it's not even that cloudy. So that was actually quite a nice change of the dynamic weather there. And we got rain, which I think is the first for driving the Acela, or just driving on this route, I think, in general. I don't think we've actually had rain. So awesome. Nice to have something a little bit different. That's good, that. As we continue our way along at 150 miles an hour. Proper chucking it down. That's one of the things with dynamic weather. I don't really like having it on sort of slow services, because it changes way too often if you're doing a slow service. You know, say if you're doing a NJT service from Rahway to New York Penn, it will be sunny, then it will go foggy, then it will be cloudy, then it will be raining, all within about 35 minutes. Whereas if you're doing a fast service like this is Princeton Junction here. Yeah, if you're doing a fast service, you're covering 60 odd miles in about 45 minutes. It sort of makes sense to have dynamic weather on, because realistically it probably would change a fair bit. So I like having dynamic weather on with fast services, but not so much slow services where you're covering a short distance in a short amount of time, but it changes tons of, changes the weather lots. So we Hamilton station next, and by the time we hit Hamilton, it should start bringing us down. In fact, it's bringing us down already, actually. So it isn't too far off now. Where's a little 150? Yeah, so I suppose it's about 10 miles to Trenton, which, yeah, 135 odd miles an hour is footsteps. It's not far. I think we were due in there at 43 past, which is, what, about 5 minutes away. There's a Keystone corridor service with the cab car. I do think this route might actually be one of my most played US routes. I know it's still early days, and you know, in 2 weeks I might be like, oh, it's alright. But I know it's just really good, and just getting up to 150 miles an hour. It's about an hour end to end, which is just perfect, especially once we stream for about an hour. It's perfect, and it's exciting as well. Although we haven't been on Harlem in a while, and I used to say that about that. Well, that is a really good route though. Although I don't think I've actually got it installed at the moment because of the DLC limit. Well, I'll try and keep this one installed best I can. Lovely. There's another milepost. Is that 50 something? Oh, it's definitely in the 50s there. So it won't be far. Yeah, this is Hamilton, so it will start coming. I'm going to start putting the brakes on. So it's actually already come down a little there. There's only 3 miles from here. Just have some sparks there on the pantograph. Lovely. That'll come right down to about 80 fairly soon. There you go, look at that. Bang on. It's like 45 next. So yeah, HUDless is fairly straightforward on this train because it just tells you all the speeds, tells you when to start slowing down. So I suppose, yeah, if you have been playing this route quite a lot, turn the HUD off, give it a go, especially if you're in the Acela. I mean, Newark, when you're coming into Newark, you'll be doing about 30 anyway, so you can't really miss that. And Trenton, it just pops you down anyway, and if you don't pop down, it puts the brakes on. Doesn't actually bring you over for a little bit still. That's now 45, right? Yes, buzz, don't panic. Lovely. As we slowly approach Trenton, which isn't all that far now. It's got a good horn as well. What's it say on the side there? Washington. Wait, it had something scrolling through. Acela Express. Yes, Acela Express 2121. Should be shortly arriving then. We don't come across at this one. I think or is it this one? It might be the next one actually. Yeah, it's the next crossover. Lovely. Catenary looks good as well on this route. which is sort of one of the big improvements with recent overhead routes. The catenary actually looks really good. Whoa, alright. Panic, down to 30. Don't panic, train. We're slowing down. See, it's quite slow. And this is Trenton, there it is, just in front of us. I suppose the flashing lower signal indicates we're going to be going across the points here. Oh, down to 20 as well, bloody hell, right. I think your knickers in a twist. Alright, down to 20 then. Here we are. That was good. Some Marcelo goodness. Quite a nice station as well, this one. There we go. I guess the upstairs area is probably like a refurbishment of it. I guess you probably had like a subway before going underneath. Trenton Transit Center. Oh yeah, shame. Apparently there's some sort of sidings, turn back sidings slightly further down, which weren't added. Where you could drive to. I suppose probably like there somewhere. It's like a place where you can turn around, but that's not there. What's this? What's that thing there? Is that like a tram line there? Hold on, not that. Number 8. Is that a tram line? Oh yeah, look, a little tram station there. That's cool. Well, there we go. There we have it. That is a run from Newark down to Trenton. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed it. Links can be found in the usual places. 47.9 miles. Yeah, usual places, Discord, PayPal, merch store. Apart from that, thanks for coming in, and I hope we'll see you next time. See you all, and take care. Bye, guys.